this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at our top 10 anticipated games of 2024.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a new year.
Yay.
New games. And as always, this is kind of a hard list to make.
Yes.
Because you spend around 0 minutes trying to find out about new games.
That's right.
And I spent some minutes, but I haven't gone through every single newsletter, every single thing on Board Game Geek that is listed for 2024. I have this is a mix of things I already knew about, things that I found out about now. Most of these are things I knew about, and many of them are crowdfunding projects. We might have played a couple of these, I think, but we are now going to talk about them.
Yes.
And as we say when we don't do these kind of things, every anticipated thing is a shallow list. Like, this is just like, we are looking forward to this. We don't know if this is going to be the best. And for most of these games, you don't know much about them at all.
That's true.
So I know a little bit about them, and you know even less.
Yes, I know the things that you have told me.
Yes.
If I can remember it.
Yes, hopefully, or I will help you.
Yes.
So this is going to be just like, we are calling it top 10 because that's what you're supposed to do. But these are like 10 games we are looking forward to play this year.
Basically.
I think there was like 20, 30 games that I was interested in. And there's just like many games like, oh, that sounds neat. But these were the ones like, okay, I'm actually really looking forward to that. And as always, as the year goes on, if we today would have known every single game that was coming out this year, this top 10 would have looked very differently.
Yes.
But this is today 10 games, top 10, as we say it, games that we are looking forward to for 2024.
Yes.
And I'm going to start.
Yeah,
because
number
that's how
10.
we did the thing, found out what we were going to do. Number 10 is Seventh Citadel. This was funded back in May 2020, and it's on the boats now, which means that it's going to take less than 4 years for the game to come here. I don't care. Like, many people are like, oh, the game was supposed to be 2022. I don't care. Like, those were like 2020, 2021, 2022. Those years doesn't really exist because of COVID. And there's so many games. So when I back something, I try to kind of remember to do the pledge manager. I don't always do. But I try to remember to do that. And then I just forget about the game. Because there are other games we can play. Seventh Citadel looks like a great way to make me want to play Seventh Continent more.
Yes.
Like, because Seventh Continent was really good, but it's a bit too much about the survival, and it was also very hard when you had played 15 hours and you died and you had to start over.
Yes, I agree. And it's something else playing that in a board game than a video game, because you don't have to set up everything in a video game. You can maybe also just like save from the loading point or something. So it was like demotivating, is that a word in
I think
English too? To play that many hours and then be killed by a bear and then have to do everything all over again.
Seventh Citadel feels like it's going to take great things from Seventh Continent and add a bit more story, I think. And also, one thing that I remember from it, which is super interesting, is the dialogue thing, where you can actually talk to people in a way that I haven't seen in a board game before. So I'm really excited to actually get to play that. Probably going to be like in the end of February, beginning of March, something like that. So that's the one that I am looking forward to. Next up is number 9.
Number 9 is Fromage, and this is a game about cheese.
Cheese.
And this is a worker placement game that kind of changes each round that you're worker placing. So when you're making your cheese, then in the next round the cheese will get older, and then you will get other worker placement possibilities, and you want to make the best cheese.
Yeah, it has one thing I'm not usually a huge fan of, which is simultaneous action selection. But the fact that you have this, like, the rotating board which changes out the actions, made it like enough for me to be like, okay, I'm really excited for this. I did back it on Kickstarter or a GameFound, I don't remember. I backed it basically, and it is one that it sounds really interesting, and hopefully will be this year. Next up we have War Story Occupied France. This was just a week ago, I think, announced by Osprey Games. It is made by, I don't remember the name, sorry about that, but by one of the designers who did Unlock, some of the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and Echoes, which is the audio escape puzzle game, and also by the designer who did Undaunted, which is a very interesting and a mix of two designers, and it is a World War II, I'm 99% sure, World War II theme of a choose your own adventure kind of campaign. I think it's like 3 different scenarios in the box, which is like a normal amount of boxes or scenarios, not boxes. There's 3 boxes in one game, but this one looks very interesting. Don't know too much about it other than what we read on the announcement, but it's one that I am very interested in. Like, I'm not a huge movie nor history buff, but I think it's an interesting theme.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Those 2 in combination, like the mechanisms and the theme and the great story that they're telling with these puzzles, for example, or mysteries that you're...
The designers? Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to see how this will be.
Yes, next up. Number 7.
Number 7 is a game that we actually have played a little bit of, and that is Dragon Eclipse. We have done played
preview,
from the prototype, which I got a really good first impression of.
Yes.
It seems like a very simple campaign game to get into, and the theme is super cute, and you feel like, oh, it's just Pokemon, but then it takes a little darker turn, and I'm really excited to play the real game.
Yeah, it looks like the first wave of this is going to be November, I think, so it's going to be a while till I get to play it. I think it's November, it might be earlier, I don't remember. Awakened Realms, this is we love many of the Awakened Realms campaign games, but as you said, this is one that seems like the easiest entry point to get into a campaign.
Yes.
Super excited. Number 6 is a Pampero, I don't know how to pronounce it. It is the big heavy Euro game of windmills, and this is one that I know actually the least about on the list. It was just like many of the people we enjoy and we listen to, they played it and liked it, and it is a big heavy Euro game in the kind of style of Lacerda. It's not a Lacerda game, but in the style of that. So that is it's a shallow reason, but that is the reason why it's here. I'm always excited to play a heavy Euro game, and that's number 6, Pampero.
Number 5 is Flatiron, and this is the new game from Ludanova this year, and it has designers from the White Castle, which we really enjoyed this game this year.
Yeah.
So Flatiron, I'm really looking forward to see a new game from those designers to see what new they can bring to the table.
You are building the Flatiron building. I think it's called the Fueler building now. I think so, or maybe it's the other way around. It's called the Fueler building, and now it's called the Flatiron building. But it's like a building, I think it's in New York. You are building this up together, and when the building is done, the game is going to be over. I don't know too much about the mechanisms, but Ludanova has a pretty good track record of games, and also the designers I'm always looking out for now after a few of the games that they have done.
Yes.
Next up is number 4, which is The Dark Quarter. This is from Lucky Duck Games, and I think there's another company also there which I don't remember, but this one is also one that we played a prototype of. This is actually a co-op story game that we played with 4 people, and it worked really well. Yeah. I don't usually like playing these kind of games with 4 people. We even played it with somebody who doesn't usually enjoy these kind of games too much, and it was amazing. I remember you can go and see the video we did for it. It was so good. I enjoyed that. It was dark and gritty and horrible, and everything that happened, it's very mature in a very interesting way. You can tell a very mature story. I think it boxes 18 plus on the front. And I went all into this campaign. Cannot wait to play this game. It sounds fantastic. I have played it. I think it's fantastic. I just want to play it more. This is one I've been thinking about regularly since we played it. So hopefully my brain hasn't hyped it up too much for me to not like it as much. But I really enjoyed the experience we had with it.
And number 3 is Clank Legacy 2, and we have played Clank Legacy 1, which was really, really enjoyable. Yes. It's such good writing and so much fun in that game. We are not the biggest fans of the Clank game, in general. Nope. I think it's fine, but it's not a game that we have in the collection. But Clank Legacy just elevated that to something really fun and something interesting, and I can't wait for a new version of that to see what more they can do in this fun universe.
I hope it's as good as the first one. Really like that one. And there's been this list is very heavy on the co-op campaign stuff. But you can see, if you know our 2 favorite things puzzles, cooperative campaign stuff that we never finished, and a heavy Euros.
Yay!
So the number 2 is going to be a heavy Euro, and it's going to be Inventions from Vital Lacerda. We were very sad that we weren't able to do any previews for that because we really wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Because Lacerda is one of our favorite designers. He is making heavy, thematic, great, juicy games. I don't care about thematics, but I think it's fun when they're there. But just like so much interesting and fun stuff. Inventions look really cool. You are inventing stuff and doing Lacerda things in a nice way. It's Lacerda.
Yay.
There's really nothing more else to
Yeah.
say. Why do you look forward to that one?
It's Lacerda.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 1
And
is
why
the
do
last
we
one.
looking forward to that? It's Stefan Feld. It's Civillusion. We got to listen to how the game worked at
You did.
Spiel.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was there. And I saw like a prototype of the game. I didn't understand much of it, but it has some unique use of dice that I
Yes.
haven't seen before. And also, like every game that Stefan Feld puts out, I'm going to play it.
Even though we are not fan of every single thing he does, many of them, like Marrakesh, which is Los's new game, which is super good.
Super good.
And just like many of his games are big staples in our collection, and
Yes.
others we have recently called. Civillusion, I have to say, might have the biggest player boards I have ever seen. Do
Yeah.
you remember those player boards?
Yes.
They were like this big
Yeah,
for
talking
one
about
people.
a big game that
Yes.
takes up a lot of space on the table. It is so big.
Yes, but it looks cool. And if you want to see like that kind of weird ramble about how it works, you can go and check the Spiel vlog. I don't remember which one it was, so if you
I
haven't
think it
seen
was
them,
the last day.
that might be it.
Yeah.
Go and watch it. So those are 10 games. Very like short list like this, but I hope you got some feeling of it. Like now you know some games that we are looking forward to. Maybe someone you didn't know what's going to be this year, or maybe someone you hadn't heard about. Most of this you probably have already heard about, but now you know. What
Which
we are
games
excited
are you excited for?
Yes.
Please let us know in the comments. We are always looking out for new games.
We're going to play all of
Because
them.
we are lacking some games in our collection right
so
now.
few games.
Yes.
We killed too many. Now we have to buy more.
Yes.
If you got anything out of this video and you haven't done so yet, it helps us a lot if you give us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
And this is going to be the end of this video. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.